Hello, fellow mompreneurs. Welcome to the Real Moms Podcast, the go-to space for resilient entrepreneurs who are striving for abundant living. I'm your host, Shay Spitz, a mompreneur and a realtor here in Columbus, Nebraska. Are you a mom juggling the hustle of entrepreneurship, family life, and personal growth? Well, you're in the right place. On this podcast, we dive deep into the real, unfiltered stories of incredible women who are navigating the journey of mompreneurship. We'll celebrate the victories, share practical insights, and acknowledge that it's okay to face challenges along the way. Success isn't about the destination. It's about the journey and the growth we experience as we balance our careers and the chaos of family life. Whether you're a seasoned mompreneur or just starting on this exciting path, join me and our amazing guests as we explore what it truly means to be a resilient entrepreneur striving for abundant living. Get ready for real, raw, and remarkable conversations that will inspire and uplift you. Because here at the Real Moms Podcast, we believe in the power of community, authenticity, and the strength that comes from embracing the journey together. So grab your coffee, find a cozy spot, and let's dive into the world of mompreneurship. This is the Real Moms Podcast, where we celebrate the hustle, honor the struggle, and thrive as resilient entrepreneurs living abundantly. Is that just elderly or is that like any ages kind of thing?
It's any ages. We also provide for kids. Yeah, it's elderly and kids.
Okay.
Yeah, and pregnant mom or a new mom. Let's say you just gave birth and you need somebody to help you around the home. We also staff that as well.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna put this on Do Not Disturb, and then we're gonna dive on into it.
Sure.
So what I'm gonna do is, so did you get the video about my podcast and what that's about?
I got the link and I went and checked it out. That was why I decided to go on, because when they texted me this, I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to just sign on. So let me go check that out before I agree to this. So yeah, it's still the deal. Thank you.
Good. So I started doing that because I started getting a lot of no shows and things along those lines. And I'm like, okay. And then a lot of people be like, I just didn't know if it was real. I'm like, all right. So I feel like if I could do that bomb video where it just kind of put that personal touch to it, it just, I haven't really had any no-shows or last-minute cancellations and I get it. I totally get it. So I'm glad though that you received that and that you chose to be here. So what I'm going to do is, obviously this podcast is for moms and to spread the information about your business, but really to help other mompreneurs out there, maybe even somebody who's thinking about doing their own thing, because it can be very overwhelming. I'm actually just talking to a friend of mine. It's a guy, but it's a little bit different. But he wants to go out on his own, and he's just not, he's like, I just don't want to get blindsided with anything. And I'm like, oh, you're going to get blindsided.
Yeah.
You will absolutely get blindsided.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So we'll dive into that here in a little bit, but I'm going to start by doing your intro, and then your little quote that says, be well, be bold, and be you. And I'll maybe kind of dive into why you like that saying. So
yeah.
All right.
Let me ask, are we going to focus more on graceful? You want me to talk more about graceful? You want me to talk more about radiant? Where's
your passion? What do you want to talk about? And you can talk about a little bit about both if you want to.
Okay. Well, they're both a part of me, so it might come out. So whichever
That's
one
fine.
you want, just let me know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We can talk about both. This is your show basically. So I want you to talk about you and your kids and your family dynamic, the struggles, the hurdles, the good, the bad, the ugly. All of it. So, because we experience all of those things. So,
we sure do.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to get started. So,
sure.
Welcome to another episode of Real Moms Podcast. I like to start every podcast off with a motivational quote, and today's quote is, be well, be bold, and be you. Today we have Grace Katz. She is a board certified RN, MSN, APRN, FNPC. After nearly 20 years in the medical field, Grace found a passion for home care, recognizing an unmet need for advocates and family support for clients of all ages. Grace founded Graceful In Home Healthcare in 2016. Grace's goal is to ensure that individuals and families who need support at all stages of life have the opportunity to remain at home and empower their continued independence throughout their health journey. Grace finds joy in pairing each client with the right fit when it comes to their caregiver and pays attention to the little details that make all the difference in the home care. So Grace, thank you so much for being here. And I know that is not the only thing that you do, because why would we only as a woman do one thing? So tell me a little bit about, I guess, your journey as an entrepreneur.
Thank you for having me on here. I love your show. Well, as you as you rightly say, as a mom, we do a lot. Well, let's just see. Like you say, 2016, kind of as a mom and juggling 12 hours long hour shift with as a nurse, you have to do 12 hours. And I was realizing that, oh my goodness, I come home, my kids are sleeping, I leave home, my kid is sleeping. So I was missing out on that milestones. So then I'm like, okay, what can I do that will give me some flexibility and still kind of show the passion that I have for, as a nurse? And so that was how Graceful came about, and that was how I founded Graceful, which allowed me to kind of do both. I spend time with my kids and I still love what I do. So that was kind of how that came about.
That's amazing. So, because how you said you have three kids, right?
I do.
Okay, so and then what are their ages?
Shocker. I have an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 7-month-old.
Oh my goodness, so real little. My
Yes.
goodness. Okay, so and then how long were you a nurse before you founded Graceful in?
In home health, yeah. I'm still a nurse. I'm a nurse practitioner right now. I've always been a nurse. I don't know anything different. I've always been in healthcare. I think I got my first nursing certificate in 2005.
Wow.
And yeah, so that's all I know. Nursing is all I know. I've always been a nurse. And before that, I was a waiter in a nursing home. So
Yep. Oh
my
my gosh.
passion is in healthcare, and I'm
Yeah.
still in healthcare.
Yeah, yeah. So talk to me about the transition that when you went from working the 12-hour shifts, how I know you said how that idea kind of came up, but like what actually propelled you forward? Because I think a lot of people in general, not just moms, or not just women, but men too, that it's that hesitation, it's the analysis paralysis, it's the overthinking of, okay, what could go wrong, and really focusing on everything that could go wrong versus
Mhm.
focusing on what could go right. So what was
Right.
that like leap of faith where you're like, nope, I'm doing this?
Like I said, it was that focus on I needed some freedom in my life. I needed to take control over my scheduling. And that was kind of what led me into it. I didn't look at the financial loss. And one thing people have to believe in, or they have to hold strong, is when you're trying to do something that you have passion for, you kind of have to put money aside, because realistically you will lose money, whether it be from a secure job, the health insurance, things like that, that will kind of hold you in place. You just have to kind of put it on the back burner for now. It's like, you know what, I'm going to focus on this, because in due time they will all come. The health insurance will come, the finance will come, but first just take that leap of faith, because if you want to wait for the right day or the right timing, you're not going to have the right timing. You're not going to have the right. Just believe in your dream, believe in what you're doing, and just put some numbers together and just stay focused and keep grinding, and eventually it will pay off.
I love everything that you just said, because I mean, you're going to constantly continue to learn and continue to grow. You're not going to understand all of it. And I can
No.
guarantee you that anybody who's been in business for 30, 40, 50 years, they are still learning. It
Oh
is a
yeah.
constant evolution of growth,
Yes. Yes.
change, struggles, everything. You haven't had any struggles though, right? Nothing?
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. When it comes to struggle, I think of one thing people have to realize too, that when you're going into business, think about the people you're going into business, whether the people you hire or the people you're entrusting. In my case, I entrusted my business, Graceful, with a very strong manager, and she walked out of my business with $50,000. I can't tell you time and time again where people would just do the ungodly thing that you never see coming, but you don't give up. You still stay true to yourself, believe in who you are, because as much as the bad goes, good are greater at the end of the day. Stay true to who you are and continue to push.
That is amazing. Yeah, I mean, wow, somebody walking out on $50,000, and especially probably somebody that you fairly trusted or had a good relationship
Oh
with.
yeah. How did people are like, well, how did you not notice? Well, when you have somebody doing payroll And, I don't want to get too dirty into this, revealing all the inner secret, but I do want people to be aware of the, things that happen. So this lady, she was my manager, the manager of the business. She was running things and she did the payroll. So how did I not catch it? Well, she was paying adequate amount of in and out, but what I didn't know was she was going back with the staff and getting cash from them. So so what it looks like on the front end, like it's a legit check. On the back end, she was going back to them, well, you only did this many hours, so give me the extra amount that I added on top of your check. So how we caught it was a miracle, really. So there's
Oh my gosh, there's just
people,
always,
people, people can be something.
I know. And then it's just like so disheartening. And it would be easier to throw in the towel and be like, all right, I'm done. I can't do this anymore because mentally it's not always about the financial side of things, but mentally it's exhausting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
what happened after that? Like when you caught it, what did you do moving forward from there?
In terms of getting her booked or in terms of business wise?
Well, business wise, I mean, I'm sure that there was a lot of changes, but you still had to keep the business going as if there was no problems on the back end, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we kept it going, and of course, she no longer worked. She no longer worked. There was a whole of an investigation that had to do with her and all of that, and then we just kept the business going. People that were loyal to her, be like, "Oh, where's this person?" We just, what, she no longer worked there, and you just gotta keep, the business going when it comes to just keeping things along the line of working your day to day, because you don't want that to affect the way you're doing business and the people that are working for you, because that's their check. They're counting on their paycheck to come in. So you can't be like, oh my goodness, I had a bad day. I'm just gonna put my phone down and and be quiet. So no, you have
Right.
to keep things going no matter how rough the day is, because there are people that depend on you.
Yeah, 100%. Not just in business, but your family too. Like your
The
family.
family, the resident that are waiting for their staff to show up, it's just everything.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure for as a business owner. I mean, when you have that many people relying on you and you're trying to just scramble on the back end to put things together and make it look like, nothing major happened. Were you out that $50,000 then I would assume?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
So what was your other business that you are also doing on top of everything else?
So I founded Radiant Aesthetics and Wellness in 2022. And that is a more of a holistic care, where Graceful is we assist the elderly, the kids. Radiant is looking more of the inside and out. So we do like IV vitamins infusions, Botox and fillers, facials. Weight loss is one of the biggest one right now with all the injectables and stuff. So we do that one is more focused on the beauty side of the healthcare.
Yeah. So do you have an actual like office building space or do people go to your house?
Oh no, we have an actual brick and mortar. It's 2755 Jamie Lane, is right on South Lincoln.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And then is that fully staffed then too?
Yes, yes.
Holy
Yes, it is.
moly. How are you running? So so you have somebody who's kind of like running the one business and then somebody else who's kind of helping with the other one I mean, how did you find these people? I feel like the hardest part about running a business is finding the right people and learning to trust somebody. And especially when you've had struggles of trust.
Yeah, well, a lot of prayer,
I
lots
bet.
of prayer, and you just have to continue to trust, because there's no way you can, there's no way you can completely just live life shelled. You just can't be shelled. You have to kind of still trust people, because in a small business space, that's one thing that is small business size is you get to know the people. You get to know the people around you. They get to know your dirt. They know your bad days, your good days. So you just have to, like, what happened. Everybody's not the same. Treat each person as their individual self that they are. Don't bring what happened with this person and use that to rope this person. No, just still continue to treat people as they are. Face them with what they bring to you. And so that's how I'm able to continue to trust people and put my faith in what I do and hope that I'm not going to get burned again.
Right, right. And that's a huge testament to what and how you run a business too, because it's just like any other relationship. Like if you use relationship or past experience and you portray that onto your next employee, well, they're not going to want to work for you because you don't have this trust and you might be micromanaging them and you're not giving that full trust to them, which it would be hard. It would be
Yeah.
hard to be able to do.
Yeah, just like, people don't give up on love, no matter how many relationships we've been in that burned us, whether it be in middle school, high school, college, we don't give up. We continue to seek love, from one relationship to another. So I think it's kind of the same thing. You don't give up on people because you've met one or bad people. You just continue to have that relationship.
Right, right. Now, so what parts of the businesses do you like, are you involved in?
With Graceful, I'm more on the management, call me if you have questions, things like that. With Radiant, I am hands-on. I am the injector. When you come in there, you're gonna see me, you're gonna consult with me, we're gonna talk about your health journey from head to toe with me.
Really? Okay. So, and so I'm really interested in that because I've had some people say, oh, have you ever thought about Botox? But I've always been very hesitant. And we're kind of getting a little bit off subject in a sense, but like, what are the benefits of Botox and is there any downfall long term?
Not really. The benefit of Botox, actually, they advocate that you start in your 20s, to be honest. If you want to get the full benefit of, Botox and filler, you start in your 20s because as we get older, we start to lose the fatty tissue on our face. We start to lose them. And what Botox is doing is rejuvenating that and getting rid of the wrinkles. Yes, you don't want to look like a plastic, but that's why you start early. So you do small increments, little subtle changes, and people don't really notice when it's happening, and you just kind of grow with that. So I don't see any downside to it. I see all the benefit. And you could say, oh, well, of course you'll say that you're a provider. Let's just say that I would not advocate for something that I didn't believe in.
Right. Well, and I'm assuming that you probably do Botox too. So you're obviously not going to want to inject yourself with something that is going to have negative consequences in the future.
Exactly. And I try my product. Like anything that I use on people, I use it myself. So
Mhm.
I'm like, well,
Yes. Now, I like the holistic approach to things because as much as like the healthcare field, we need it. I feel like there's controversy there as well. I think like the health management side of things and the holistic side of healthcare is for me a lot more beneficial or would be more beneficial for a lot of other people because I have some family members who, everybody just goes to the doctor to get a pill and then that pill has consequences and side effects.
mhm.
But if you would just, not just, but if you would eat healthy, eat clean, and exercise, I'm sure you could eliminate so much more of those pills and health issues that people have. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. I always tell people this. Well, there's a reason why whenever you go to the doctor, they say, have you been eating your fruits and vegetables? What is in fruit and vegetables? Vitamins, minerals, and amino acid. Those are the things that build up our cells. And when you eat that way, if you can't get it in your fruit and vegetable, please go get an IV drip because it's full of vitamins and minerals and amino acid. So we have so many options now as to
Mhm.
how you can get healthy and maintain your health journey as compared to before. And like you said, people always connotate healthcare with negative because when do you see a doctor when you're not feeling good? When do
Mhm.
you see it? When are you in the hospital when you're sick? But we want to also preach that we can do something about it, which is the health, the wellness, space now. You can do something about it. You said exercise, eat healthy. Most of what we do when it comes to healthcare in terms of wellness, if you eat right, you will need to see a doctor, when you have that bad news. So that's
Mhm.
what I'm also trying to bring focus to is like we can do, health safely.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's like what you do is a lot like changing your oil in your vehicle. Like you are
Thank,
staying proactive. Like you're
thank
not
you.
going to you when you have
Yes.
problems. You need to
Yes.
go to you to stay healthy, to stay fit, to understand the wellness side of things. And that's kind of like therapy too. A lot of people go to therapy when they have a problem, but if people went to therapy if people went to therapy on a regular basis, you usually won't get to the point of needing.
Well, you're breaking down.
Right, right, exactly. I mean, we all have our breakdowns, But that was one of the things that one of my coaches had told me. He's like, I have like three therapists, Shay. And he's like, not because I'm going through all these hard times on a constant, regular basis. He's like, but they have a 10,000 viewpoint of my life. And so sometimes they can
Hmm.
see
What
something
you don't see.
happening
Hmm.
before I do. So I feel
Yeah.
like your wellness journey would be the same thing. Like you can do the vitamin, the drip, all of that stuff, without having to get on these other different medications. Yes, you can do supplements and stuff like that, but I've done the IVs and whatnot, not on a regular basis, but I've definitely done them before, and there's huge, tremendous benefits to it for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's definitely good benefits out of it. What did you feel after when you first took it? How did you feel?
Well, first of all, it was freezing when they do it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. I've done it 2 or 3 times, I think.
Where
Um,
were you at? Well,
but
with my space, I get warm blankets because
that would have helped a lot. I
yeah,
was
you
like
gotta think it's
freezing.
fluid going into you, and if the fluid is cold, it's gonna make your body cold. So what I offer to kind of, make up for that cold is I offer one blanket and people usually love it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that would have helped so much. But yeah, I mean, I just felt a lot more energy. I should say
Yes.
a lot because I do overall eat pretty healthy. I
Uh,
exercise, but I definitely felt more energy,
nice.
maybe a little bit more clear-minded.
Yes.
And that was just like a one treatment. It wasn't like I was doing it regularly
Ongoing.
where I
Okay.
would probably see more benefit to it.
Nice, nice. Yes, you do get, that brain fog get lifted. I've also had people say, well, the vision is clear. Like it's just like a mental alertness.
Yeah. Yeah. A
Yeah.
little bit of a mental clarity. Now, do you
Mhm.
do a lot with like red light therapy or anything like that?
I do. I
Do you
do.
see
Yes.
benefits with that?
Yes, our red light therapy is more focused on acne. So
Oh,
for people that have acne, we use red light therapy. We also use red light therapy when it comes to what we call laser lipo body sculpting. We also use red light therapy for that as well.
oh, interesting. Interesting. And where do you see most people do? Like in that realm?
The body sculpting is an interesting one because what that does is I have a lot of people that are on the weight loss journey. Well, it
Mhm.
gets to a place where you plateau and you stop losing, and no matter what you eat, no matter what you do, it's just not moving. So that's when we put the red light therapy, and what that does is it soften the fat tissue. It makes it easier to lose. So
Really?
yeah, when you're doing that weight loss and you're stuck and nothing else, it helps shrink the fat cells. So
Really?
and
So is that
easier
like a
to
one-time thing or is that like a
it's a
ongoing thing?
series. It's a 6 series. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But each time it's only like 30 minutes. It's painless, there's no downtime. I have people just lay there and take a nap.
Huh. And so
Yeah.
yeah, just go in, take a 30-minute nap, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for me, I'm always at this certain weight and there's always like I've gotten past it before, but this is like my base, like what I mean? Like it's hard for me to get past the weight that I'm at now. And then you get discouraged because it's like, okay, well, is it worth
Yeah.
eating so clean and exercising every single day, for 30, 45 minutes? And yes, it is because there's more benefits to it than just your weight. But it does get a little bit discouraging because I'm like, I know I can get there. Like, why
It's
is the
not
scale?
moving. And
Yes.
weight loss is one of the hardest things to do.
Uh-huh.
I don't, nobody should body shame anybody because it is a hard journey. I've
Yeah.
seen people that are struggling with weight and I say celebrate, even if it's a half an ounce that you lose, celebrate because weight loss is one of the toughest thing. I mean, enjoy
Mhm.
our food, it's like, something that you enjoy and somebody says you can't have, or something that you enjoy and somebody goes, well, just eat a little bit of that. It's exhausting mentally, it's exhausting emotionally, it's exhausting physically. So weight loss is one of the hardest journeys somebody can be on, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It is. It is because it's more of a mental thing than anything. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
it's easy to go home when you're stressed and just, indulge in
Grab
something.
that bar of ice cream.
Yeah, right. Or like when you're exhausted, not even like stressed, but like you're just like mentally exhausted from work
Yeah.
and you go home, you're like, I don't have anything prepped. I don't have anything
Grab
available.
what's
I'm
there.
just gonna eat a bowl of cereal.
Yep. Yeah, I feel you.
So now you have 3 kids, and I know that they're still on the younger side, but have they been involved in your entrepreneurship journey at all? Do they have to come with you?
Yes, all my kids actually. I had to warn your team that my baby might cry, which I try everything I could to make him sleep, and thank God he's sleeping. But I do take them to work with me on every Saturday. We go. Saturday is our cleaning day. We go there and we clean, and my son scans documents. Of course, I pay him. He makes sure I pay him.
Oh,
Uh,
yes. And how
they
old is
scan
he?
stuff. He's 11.
Okay. Yeah, he
Oh,
knows.
he'll
He knows.
remind me. Last time I came, you haven't paid me. I was like, how much? He was like $10. Oh, okay, I could do $10. So he'll scan documents and they'll load up the soda pop machine or like the water. I get them involved, trying to teach them like discipline and hard work at an early age. And
Mhm.
another side of things that I also did for my son, he had a cold a couple weeks back, and I was doing Tylenol and ibuprofen. It wasn't going away 103, 102. It was just this boy, he never gets sick. Like
Oh,
he went 4 years straight without being sick. And
yeah.
I brought him in and I gave him an IV drip, and he was back to school the next day. So
Really?
yeah, it really helps. And that's how much I believe in what I do.
Hmm. Well, and I can tell that you're very passionate about it too, because like you said, like when you're so passionate about something, you do have to put the money to the side, and the money will come eventually. It
Yeah.
really will. And we have to have our boundaries and have our, know our worth and stuff. But especially at first, that is a
You gotta
concern.
sacrifice. You gotta cut,
Yeah.
no nails.
Because you can't be, can you have nails or what's the reason for no
I
nails?
mean, you can have nails. I mean, I can have a manicure, but I'm just saying, like, those are expensive. You gotta
Right.
cut in order to make your dream come true. You gotta cut that once a month hairstylist, that, fancy lashes that we love to do. When that nail, going to the nail salon, you just gotta cut your own nails.
Right, right. Well,
You just,
absolutely. Yes. And then you don't need to have like the most expensive vehicle out there or
right.
the nicest house. I mean, it's
You gotta
so much about
sacrifice.
keeping what's at.
You gotta sacrifice,
Yeah.
to
Well,
get
and
to where you're
honestly,
going.
like I don't even know if we should even say it's called a sacrifice. Like that's just life. You know what I mean? Like by me not going and getting my nails done, I'm not sacrificing. Like I'll survive without my nails. Sacrifice, I feel like would be like, okay, well, I'm just going to skip this meal because I can't afford it. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
think we need to put
I know.
priorities.
I know.
We need to
It's like
change
a
our
want
priorities.
versus a need.
Yes, very much so. Like, okay, if I can't get my hair done this month, I don't know. I don't know if I actually, I used to go blonde more, but I haven't had my hair colored in probably 8, 9 months
Yeah,
because I was like, well, it's more natural. It's healthier for my hair. And it's not a money thing necessarily, but like,
it's a
it's an
lifestyle.
inconvenience. You're there for so long.
Long. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I was just like, okay, well, wow, that actually saves me a lot more money than I ever thought. So,
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to get my hair braided the other day, and they was like, well, it's gonna be $600, but because of you, we'll do $450. I'm like, hi, thank you. No, thank you.
oh my gosh. Okay, mine's not that expensive. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Yeah, yeah. And then like vehicles too, everybody wants to keep up with the nicest vehicle or getting a
yeah.
new phone, a new phone every year. No, you don't need that stuff.
No,
And
no, you're
we have
right.
to set aside that we have to keep up with the Joneses. Like I am so far from that. So far from it. I joke about it, but I have a big crack in my windshield. We live in the country, so I have
Country road,
rocks hitting my
gravel.
windshield all the
Hmm.
time. But I got a big crack. It's not in my eyesight, so we're good. And people kind of make fun of me, and I'm like, I'm not going to replace it because I know what's going to happen as soon as I do. I'm
Oh,
going to get
another
another.
one. Oh,
Yeah, I'm
that's
going to
too
get another one.
bad.
So I'm just driving around with a big crack in my windshield. So
Oh.
yeah. So where do you see some of your business, where do you see your businesses going? Do you have a vision for it? Are you kind of good where they're at right now?
We're good where Graceful is at right now. We're maintaining happy staff. We have the best team when it comes to our staff. We also have the best clients. I mean, gosh, everybody's lovely. Like we have just a little backstory on the Graceful staff. We have one staff went to go help another staff rent an apartment because the other one has never done anything like that before. I mean, we just have like a really nice, cool team, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Radiant, we are growing. We are accepting new clients, and I would love to see another location. Right now, we're focused on South Lincoln, but I would love to see us branch out to the north side. So yeah,
Columbus, come to Columbus. We have like nobody
Columbus,
here.
right?
Uh-huh. We have like
Yeah, I know
nobody
you.
here. What's
And is
that?
there anything there?
No,
I
I
have
don't
never been to
think so.
Columbus.
Like, I think there's a few things like here and there, but like nobody who does it full time that I'm aware of anyway. Maybe there is. I don't know. But
Okay, well, they
yeah,
should reach out if there's any nurse out there, an LPNC or an RN that wants to dab their toes into functional medicine, holistic health. Contact me, Radiant Aesthetics. We're here in Lincoln. Contact me. We can do maybe an offshoot office or something.
absolutely. So I have a really good friend who she's been talking about this for a year, probably more than a year. She's been talking to me about it for a year, and this
Mhm.
is pretty much exactly what she wants to do. But she works full time right now somewhere else and just hasn't taken that leap of faith. So I just keep telling her, I'm like, hey, when are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do it? And there's always something. There's always something.
There's always something in the way. Well, tell her you met this super cool lady. Just
Yes, I will. I'm just gonna send her your link and be like, hey, check this out. And
yeah.
you need to do a
And
satellite
for
office.
starter, you don't have to quit your full-time job. You can do full-time job and then take appointments, on your free time. Take appointment
Right.
on weekends. Take appointment in the evening when you're free. And
Mhm.
they slowly build your clientele. And from there, before you know it, you are having to let go of that full-time because you've got so many people on your book.
Right, right, exactly. And then you're a lot more confident. That's what I told her. And then you're a lot more confident going out on your own and leaving
Yes.
your
Yes.
stable job.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so Grace, tell me what is one piece of advice you would give your younger self, or maybe somebody who is looking to kind of go out on their own?
My one piece of advice that I would go back and start early, start young, while
Hmm.
you have the energy, while you have the vibrance, while you feel like you're on top of the world. Just start young, you
Hmm.
know. Yeah,
Yeah, just get started.
get
Everybody thinks
started.
too much into,
Get started, and for women and men to have your own finance,
yeah.
have something you're doing that you can depend on. Don't wait for anybody because
Hmm.
you'll run into trouble when you
Right,
start waiting for
right.
other people to do for you.
Well, I interviewed somebody last week and she's very involved with her taxes now. And she actually went and took like classes with Jackson Hewitt, H&R Block to
Nice.
understand her tax side of things more. Now that
Oh,
she does her bookkeeping, she has a CPA who does that for her, but she was she didn't have somebody like take money from her business, but she ended up having an audit with the IRS, and she said it was the worst because of something that her CPA at the time made
mm,
an error on. So it
mm.
caused a huge audit, and she said just mentally, it was the worst thing she had ever gone through. Um,
Wow.
so she decided to take classes to get a better understanding of what she's looking at when doing taxes and your returns and things along those lines. Even though she
Oh
doesn't do
yeah.
them, but she at least understands what she's looking at.
Nice, 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 nice.
Yeah. So we learn from our failures. We don't learn from our successes, you know?
Thank you. Yeah, it's a big step and when you're doing a business, you're gonna run into a lot of a lot of mishaps. Just learn
Uh-huh.
from it. I can't tell you how many business cards that I think we order in the right size and it come in a little mini stamps. And then we use them as address labels.
Right. Oh my gosh, that is too funny.
Just learn from it.
Right. Yeah. And laugh. You have to learn to laugh about it too. You're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. I actually that kind of reminds me, I ordered some books on Amazon one time that not real relevant to business. This was for my kids. And I'm kind of a cheap ass. So I was like, oh, $1.50 for a book? That's a nice book, you know? So I ordered like 6 of them, obviously different books. They freaking come in. They are this big. I was so mad. My husband's like, why did you not look at the dimensions? I'm like, why would I look at the
I
dimensions?
mean, the picture
Freaking,
looked good.
I am, you're right. Like the picture, like, why would I read it? Why would I? No. So yeah, needless to say, you can still read the books. It's just really tiny. Like they're like this big. I'm like, oh, $1.50. I'll do that. Kids need to learn to read more. It is actually really funny. My kids do love them because they like those small knick-knack stuff. So they have gotten their use.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
Attention
And
to
whoever's
detail.
going into business better be ready for that because you're gonna have those days where
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember one time I ordered a window decal. It's supposed to come in like this big size and it come in a mini. I'm like, oh wow.
Attention to detail, right?
Yes.
As a business owner, like I keep reminding myself, okay, pay attention to the details, pay attention, but there's so many details that it's hard to pay attention to every single one. And you just get going and then you get a small decal instead of a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Been there, done that. So if anybody is interested in, your in-home care, whether they want to sign up as a client or maybe get hired on as an employee, or even at is it Radiant, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. How can they get a hold of you?
Graceful is gracefulinhomecare.com. You can, that's our website, just www.gracefulinhomecare.com. And for email is contact@gracefulinhomecare.com as well. With Radiant, is www.radiant with an S wellness.com. And you can call us our phone number with either businesses. You can get at the same number right now, which is 402-387-7933. You can either speak to myself or just press 1 to go to receptionist and we'll attend to you.
Now, do you take walk-ins there at
We
Radiant?
don't take walk-ins. It's mostly appointments.
Okay, that's good to know. I have a friend who lives in Lincoln and another one who lives in Omaha, but we've talked about doing all of that. So we'll have to jump on your website and check it out and maybe get something set up too.
Yeah, we prioritize appointment because it set out a time for you and you're not just, coming in and waiting for us, to attend to you. So when you have your own set time, that's the time that is absolutely dedicated to you.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And everybody needs it. Women need it. Like we need to take care of ourselves.
We do. We do too much not to.
We do. We need to prioritize ourselves and be okay with taking care of ourselves.
We'd be okay with that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. Well, Grace, thank you so much for being here. And I truly appreciate you taking your time, obviously out of your very busy schedule, to be here on my Real Moms podcast.
Hey, Shay, for having me. It was lovely.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that wraps up another inspiring episode of the Real Moms podcast. A huge thank you to our incredible guests for sharing their story and insights today. If you found value in today's conversation, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And hey, sharing is caring, right? Share this podcast with your fellow mompreneurs, friends, and anyone who you feel could use a dose of inspiration. Share it on your social media as well. But most importantly, if you found this episode helpful, please, please, please leave me a 5-star review. This helps get our information out to those who have never heard or seen us before. Are you feeling inspired and you're sure that you could add some value to the podcast? Shoot me a message and let's talk. We love hearing from you. So connect with us on social media. Tag me at Shay J Spitz. That's ShaeJSpitz. And share your thoughts and takeaways, or even suggest topics you'd like to have us explore more in the future episodes. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Your resilience is your strength, and your pursuit of abundant living is truly remarkable. As always, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep embracing the beautiful chaos of being a mompreneur. Until next time, take care, stay real, and keep living abundantly.